Sophia, how could you let this happen? This is a complete disaster. Technology companies in it wasn't my fault. At 38, then whose fault was it? For being sharp, disciplined, and nearly impossible to impress. Her employees respected her, but Sophia often wondered whether they respected her because of her leadership or simply because she was the person signing their paychecks. She wanted an honest answer, so she made a risky decision. For one full day, she would disguise herself as a new intern and experience the company from the bottom of the hierarchy. On Monday morning, Sophia arrived wearing inexpensive black pants, a simple blouse, and an old backpack. She removed her designer watch, left her luxury car several blocks away, and introduced herself at reception as Sophie Miller, a newly hired intern. Nobody recognized her. Her first few hours were uncomfortable. A senior employee named Mark looked at her paperwork and laughed. Interns usually know how to follow instructions. Sophia politely asked where she should report. "Figure it out yourself," he replied. She walked away without arguing. Later, another employee handed her a stack of documents. "Make 50 copies of these." Sophia looked at the pile. "Is there a deadline before lunch?" She nodded. Then came the coffee incident. Sophia was carrying several cups toward a conference room when someone deliberately bumped her shoulder. Coffee spilled across her blouse and onto the floor. "Seriously," Mark laughed. "Can't you do anything right?" A few employees laughed. Sophia clenched her jaw, but remained silent. She had seen enough to know something was wrong with the workplace culture. Then Daniel Carter appeared. Daniel was a quiet accountant and a single father who had worked at the company for 6 years. Unlike the others, he didn't care about office politics. His main goal was to finish his work and get home to his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. He looked at Sophia's stained clothes, then at the people laughing. "That's enough." Mark turned around. "Stay out of it, Daniel." Daniel picked up the papers scattered across the floor. "She made a mistake. You don't have to humiliate her." Mark laughed. "You're defending an intern." Daniel looked directly at him. "I'm defending a person." Sophia stared at Daniel. Nobody had spoken to her like that all morning. Mark stepped closer. "You should worry about your own job." Daniel didn't move. "I am. That's why I care about what kind of workplace we're creating." Sophia quietly helped gather the papers. "Thank you," she whispered. Daniel smiled. "No problem." He didn't know her identity. He didn't know she owned the company. He didn't even know that Sophia was carefully memorizing everything she had witnessed. But by the end of the day, Sophia had discovered exactly what she needed to know. And Daniel Carter had unknowingly become the only employee who passed her most important test. The next morning, employees received an unexpected message instructing them to attend an emergency company meeting. Daniel Carter entered the conference room carrying his notebook, expecting another routine corporate announcement. He had no idea that the previous day's intern would be standing at the front of the room. When Sophia walked onto the stage wearing an elegant black suit, Daniel immediately recognized her. His eyes widened. The room became silent. Sophia looked across the employees and said, "Good morning," someone whispered. "That's Sophia Grant." Another employee stared in disbelief. Daniel slowly sat down. Sophia continued. "Yesterday I wasn't introduced as the CEO. I introduced myself as Sophie Miller, a new intern." The room erupted into nervous whispers. Mark looked pale. Sophia glanced toward him. "I wanted to see how employees are treated when leadership isn't watching." Nobody spoke. She explained everything she had witnessed: the mocking, the impossible assignments, the deliberate coffee spill, and the laughter. Then she looked toward Daniel. But one employee behaved differently. Daniel looked uncomfortable. Sophia smiled. "Daniel Carter." Everyone turned toward him. Daniel stood slowly. "Yes, ma'am." "You defended an employee you believed had no power." Daniel shook his head. She didn't deserve to be treated that way. Sophia nodded. "Exactly." She explained that leadership wasn't about titles, expensive offices, or authority. "It is about character." Mark stepped forward nervously. "Miss Grant, I didn't know you were the CEO." Sophia looked at him. "That is precisely the point." Mark lowered his eyes. Sophia announced that the employees involved in the bullying would face disciplinary action and mandatory workplace conduct training. Then she turned toward Daniel. "I want to offer you a promotion." Daniel looked surprised. "A promotion?" "Yes, I want you to become team supervisor in the accounting department." Daniel hesitated. "I appreciate it, but I don't want this because I defended you." Sophia smiled. "I'm not rewarding you for defending me. I'm recognizing the character you showed when you thought nobody important was watching." Daniel finally accepted after the meeting. Sophia approached him privately. You have a daughter, right? Daniel smiled. Lily. She's 8. What would you teach her about yesterday? Daniel thought for a moment. I'd tell her that you don't need power to do the right thing. Sophia nodded. That's exactly the kind of person I want working here. Daniel smiled. You scared everyone pretty badly. Sophia laughed. I think they needed it. From that day forward, Sophia changed the company's culture. Anonymous employee feedback was introduced. Managers received leadership training, and junior employees were given a safe way to report bullying. Daniel returned home that evening and told Lily he had received a promotion. She jumped into his arms. I'm proud of you, Daddy. Daniel smiled. I just helped someone who needed it. Lily looked up at him. That makes you a hero. Daniel laughed softly. He never considered himself one. But Sophia Grant knew better. Sometimes the strongest leadership doesn't come from the person sitting in the CEO's chair. Sometimes it comes from an ordinary person who simply refuses to stand by when someone else is being treated unfairly.